Well, hello and welcome again to lockdown. We're on another shopping trip and it's not looking good today, by the way. Don't know if you can see the heads just above the bushes. The front door is all the way over there and there is a big queuing system today. It's not looking good, very busy. I guess it's after the bank holiday. We weren't expecting it to be quite that busy. We'd sort of thought that mid-afternoon weekday was a good time to come, but it is nonetheless very busy today. Meanwhile, I thought I could probably get away with a sneaky drive. So we're going to have a quick run around Cardigan. That's where we are. We're at Cardigan Tesco. Only one person's allowed in the shop. Again, you can't go in together. So rather than just sit in the car park, I thought we'd go and do a quick lap of the town centre. I know it's not technically an essential trip, but I thought you'd be interested, and hopefully we can kind of get away with it. So without further ado, we'll give it a go. I will point out the speedometer is still not working, and I must thank DHL for being absolutely hopeless. 2 weeks ago, they said they delivered the speedo cable for this car. I chased them up via Twitter and said, no, that is very much not the case. It isn't here. They admitted it wasn't, and have made several attempts to deliver it since, and every time has failed. They're meant to be delivering it today. I don't hold out high hopes because they were meant to be delivering it on Saturday and they didn't. They claimed roads were closed because of the circumstances we're in. Absolute lies, and that's what annoys me most about DHL. I don't mind stuff being a bit late because of the circumstances we're in, but I do mind their lies. It's not the first time DHL has lied to me. I am frankly sick to the back teeth with DHL, and sadly it means I probably won't be ordering anything from De Franzo's, a French car specialist in Germany of all places, but one which sadly, if they use DHL, then I'm not going to use them anymore. So yeah, 2 weeks on, still haven't got the cable, still can't fix the speedometer, so I'm having to rely on rev counter and occasional bursts of sat nav just to remind me what the different rev points are for a certain speed in each gear. But we'll go and have a mooch around the town centre now anyway, and I can talk a bit more about life generally. Before we even get started, the car has just developed an issue where it won't idle, so let's see if she'll start. Sounds a little low, so I think we'll head out onto the bypass first, because we really want to head into Cardigan from the other end. That's where it's prettiest. So here we go. It does seem to be idling now, which is good. I've still got the battery charge light on, but because I haven't got access to my multimeter, I can't investigate that. So yeah, it's really annoying to be so far away from my tools. My tools being 50 miles away from me, I can't class that as an essential journey. Whereas I think we can just about blag a quick drive around Cardigan. Back up to the Cardigan bypass first of all. It will get prettier, don't you worry. But yeah, I mean generally the roads are, even by rural Wales standards, the roads are pretty quiet. Such a revvy engine in the GSA, I really do like it. Not much torque. So very much the opposite of that DS we saw recently. A fair bit of wind noise because my girlfriend has left the passenger window open, but also the fresh air vents on the dashboard do make a certain amount of noise themselves. So now we'll head towards Ospiti, the hospital. We'll see the castle to our right at the moment. So we'll get a view of that just as we... Oh, actually that's the church rather than the castle, I think. But Cardigan used to be a walled city. So everything was enclosed for a time in a big wall, some of which we can see here, I think. It's a very pretty little town. I was hoping it was going to be a traffic-free sort of a town, but no, and we must wait for the modern cars to slow down with their inferior suspension. I have still got the thrust bearing whistling away on this car. It hasn't quite stopped yet, but here we go, another closed cafe on the left there as we head into the one-way system. It's incredibly frustrating because I just saw the G in the window reflection there, to not be able to get out more. We're only going out as far as we can walk from our house, so yeah, we don't get to do a lot of sightseeing at the moment. And it's just nice to see different views. Still only having a weekly drive out, and it's only when we come out to the supermarket here that I can really do so. So we've got the River Tyvee to our left there. Which is very nice in itself. But here we come into the town proper. Town of Cardigan. Still got the Merry Christmas signs up, albeit not turned on, but look at the lovely old buildings. Again, beautiful weather. The weather has been absolutely gorgeous ever since I got back from my trip to the other side of the world, and of course that kind of adds insult to injury really, but the weather's been so lovely and we've been trapped indoors, but it has made for lots of very pleasant walks. Still quite a lot of people around, given this is sort of a state of lockdown. But I suppose it could all be shop retailers or retail workers, but a lot of shops are closed. Oh, everyone having to wait. You see everyone on the left there, that's a pharmacy. They aren't allowing people into many pharmacies. They're keeping them waiting outside. Yeah, it makes interesting scenes. You end up queuing halfway down the road just to get to a pharmacy at the moment. We're going to go straight on at this point. So there you go. That's just a quick drive around Cardigan Centre. Yeah, the GSA continues to go well. I've still got a whistling from the thrust bearing that I can't do anything about until I can access decent tools. Purely because of how inaccessible the cable is. But yeah, I'm not suffering too much for having to rely on a 1986 Citroen GSA for travelling about at the moment. So what I might do is go and park at the supermarket, and then I might go off for a walk, and I'll take you with me just in case there is anything of interest. Aldi also doing a decent trade at the moment, I think. They're not queuing up at Aldi. Oh, and here's that Nissan Micra K10. Just been obscured by a Skoda Yeti. That's quite a nice car, looks very original. A bit battered in places, but just, you know, used. Back we go. Yeah, much busier in the car park than it has been on previous visits. Now, choosing where to park at a supermarket, that is a tricky one, because you can be tempted to go for one of these spaces away from the entrance, but they tend to be favoured by people who can't drive and can't get into parking spaces, so it's a bit swings and roundabouts there. I think I'm going to park next to this little blue Polo over here, because I think that is probably one of the oldest cars in the car park today. At least we seem to have got the idle back. I suspect just a bit of grit or muck in the carburettor, just clogging the idle jet slightly, and that's why we talk about Italian tune-ups, where you go out for a damn good thrashing. It's to try and clear out stuff like that. It actually works. There we go. The message couldn't be clearer, really. Stay at home, save lives. I think that's a sign mostly aimed at tourists. Obviously we're in a very touristy part of the world here, and yeah, it's sad really to see what the country is like in these times of lockdown. It's peaceful in a way, just wouldn't ordinarily be. Let's make sure we don't get squished as we cross the road. I mean, this is the Easter holidays, and it's dead, really. It's quite frightening, but that is the strange times we live in. And, you know, it is difficult. I know a lot of people are finding this really, really hard. I don't think any of us are naturally all that comfortable with change. This has been major upheaval. But I've kind of settled into it a bit more now. About 2 weeks in, I was seriously struggling. Just because I was just craving further adventure, but I'm feeling much better now, because you can still go for a walk and enjoy this lovely weather. You can still go for a bike ride, just don't do it with all your mates. So it's possible to still get out and about and enjoy the world, just on a much more local scale than we used to. We've been spoiled by the motor car, really. You know, when we pass our test and suddenly realise that we can just jump in our own little machine and drive anywhere we want to, it's an amazing feeling, and we're not used to giving that up. So it has been slightly difficult times, but yeah, starting to get used to it, starting to get used to the idea. But oh, it really does feel good to feel the sun on the face and just get out for a bit. I'm just going to swap to the other side of the road because some people are ahead. Obviously everyone's trying to keep their distance at the moment. Oh, also dogs, slightly shouty. But yeah, it's been very interesting times. But yeah, thank you for watching. Obviously it's a challenge for all us creators at the moment to try and create new content, so I'm pleased interviews seem to be going down well. Other people have started doing their own interviews as well, so that's good to see. And a few of you suggested people you'd like me to talk to. There's still quite a lot of people on that list. There's a lot of people I would like to speak to and do interviews. Whether it's always possible, I don't know, but I'm certainly trying to set up some interesting ones. So yeah, interesting times ahead. In fact, today's Tuesday, and I think I'll be posting this video probably at the weekend, maybe early next week, by which time I will hopefully have spoken to Robert Dunn, Mr. Aging Wheels himself. And that'll be my first international lockdown interview. So that'll be interesting. I'm sorry that I'm huffing and puffing, but I like to walk at a fairly decent pace, and talking at the same time kind of restricts your breathing a bit. Start realising how good people are on telly who do this for a living, this walking and talking nonsense. But I think that'll probably do for now. I'm going to continue just ambling along and enjoying this beautiful part of the county of Cardigan. So once this is all over, yeah, do come and visit Cardigan. There's a lot to love here. In some ways it reminds me of some of the remote towns of New Zealand and Australia, just a bit cooler. Proper nip in the air today. But yeah, it's a lovely part of the world. Internal Fire Museum is not far up the road at Sinai, and yeah, there's a lot to enjoy. But for now, we can't really. So yeah, I wish you all the best. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell.